What's up, guys? Today we're partnered up with Mr. Black to explore the world of coffee tropical cocktails. That is, how well the coffee flavor really blends into those tropical drinks. It's not something that you actually think of that often, or at least I didn't, but tropical flavors and coffee go together like fire. I'm Leandro Demon Riva, this is the Educated Barfly, and you don't need an excuse to drink green chartreuse. Let's get into making the cocktails. So the first cocktail we're doing today is called a Blackbird. It was created by bartender and Mr. Black brand ambassador Steve Kurpinski. And I'm not gonna tell you what cocktail this is a riff off of, because you should already know. So first thing we are gonna do is cut up a lime. 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice. 1.5 ounces of pineapple juice. We're gonna be doing 1/4 of an ounce, if it ever comes out. 1/4 of an ounce of rich simple syrup. It's like very rich simple. Of course, 3/4 of an ounce of Mr. Black. 3/4 of an ounce of Gold Jamaican rum. And 3/4 of an ounce of Campari. We're gonna put a rock of ice into our glass and then fill our shaker with ice. Marry our cocktail in. Give it a nice hard shake. We're gonna give it a nice little double strain into a rocks glass. And then, even though this is a kind of Tiki style cocktail, we are going to do just a really nice clean garnish. So I'm gonna take a couple of orange wedges, maybe offset them like so. Put one through. I'm gonna put them down into like a V shape on the bottom, like that, so that you can then pinch them onto the side of the glass like so. And there you have it, the Blackbird. Let's take a sip of it. What I love about this cocktail is that, you don't have the ingredients fighting with one another for prominence. They're really well balanced together. The coffee bitterness has an almost acidity to it. You get that tartness from the lime juice. The pineapple is really prevalent, and that goes really nicely into the coffee, but then it goes back into the Campari, and it's just so beautiful. And what's really wonderful is that it is very indicative of the cocktail that it is a riff off of, but it is also wholly its own thing. So there you have the Blackbird. So the next cocktail we're doing today is called a Java Flow, and all credit for this name goes to Mr. Stephen Kurpinski. You are going to recognize this cocktail immediately. We're not reinventing the wheel here, but it is fantastically delicious, especially with some coffee in it. So first thing we're gonna do here is we're actually going to cut up a lime, and we're gonna take one wedge, and we're just gonna squeeze it into our tin. Then we're gonna do 2 ounces of pineapple juice, 3/4 of an ounce of coconut cream, and 2 ounces of white rum. We are using Havana Club, but it can be any white rum you'd like. Then we're gonna give a little Scotia Pebble, give it a nice whip shake. Give it the old dump. And then we're gonna just fill with Pebble, like so. And then we're gonna do 1/2 ounce of our Mr. Black, AKA our Java. And we're just gonna float that on top, like so. And then we got the nice Java Flow coming down. One of you guys, or many of you guys, were thinking, that's just a pina colada with coffee, then you would be correct. And you will be, when you taste this, very surprised at how well coffee goes into a pina colada, and then you basically have a breakfast colada. And that's got everything that you need. You've got the coconut, you've got the pineapple. You've got a little squeeze of lime in there, which is really important because the coconut and the pineapple can become overly sweet, especially with the rum. And although we do have coffee, the acid of which, and the bitterness of which, will balance this out a little bit. That nice little squeeze of lime just gives it enough acidity to cut through the sweetness, and then you get all of the benefits of the pineapple and the coconut without too much sweetness. Plus you get that nice roasted acidity and bitterness from the coffee and that nice coffee vibe. It's just like a really beautiful, wonderful kind of breakfast time cocktail. So there it is, the Java Flow. So the next cocktail we're doing is called a Cafe Grog. Now, grog is a drink that was served in the 18th and 19th century at any really, kind of drinking establishment. And it was a category that was really just rum lengthened with water, basically taking that rot gut kind of kill devil rum, that really strong rum that they had back in the day, and then lengthen it with water to make it a little bit more palatable. When Don the Beachcomber and Trader Vic came on the scene in the 30s and 40s, they kind of created drinks that were called Voodoo Grog or Navy Grog, and these were drinks that expanded on that idea, obviously adding fruit juices and kind of making them into a tiki kind of vibe. So what we're doing today is going to be a pared down version of the Trader Vic and John the Beachcomber grog, but we are going to be doing an elevated version from the original grog because we're not gonna be just drinking rum and water. All right, first thing we're doing, 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice, 1 ounce of grapefruit juice, 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup, 1 ounce of any type of rum that you want, and 1 ounce of Mr. Black. We're just gonna put in a skosh as we do. Bit of nice whip shake. Let me do this guy. Give it the old dumpy pants. Top up with Pebble. Marius, if you bear with me for a sec. Then we're just gonna give it a straw. Give it a sip. Ooh, that is just a burst of lime, balanced out by the simple syrup and the coffee. You get lime and coffee, you get a little bit of that nice dark rum in there. It's really tart, it's really refreshing, but it also kind of gives you that kind of breakfast coffee vibe. So there it is, Cafe Grog. So there it is, guys, 3 cocktails that prove that coffee is fire in tropical cocktails, featuring Mr. Black. Mr. Black is an Australian company that makes their coffee liqueur out of just 3 ingredients. That's why I love it so much. They make it out of vodka, they make it out of their own cold brew that they roast the beans themselves, and then a little bit of sugar to sweeten it, but it's not overly sweet, and it's just really perfect. It's very easy to balance inside cocktails. They also have a couple of new products which I really, really like. This one I've been waiting for a really, really long time. I have tasted it in the past. I finally got my own bottle. It's been a long time coming that they were gonna ship it to the US, and they are now shipping from their website. So you guys should definitely check it out, and that is their Cafe Amaro. And then they also do a single origin edition of Mr. Black, which is pretty brilliant. I've also tasted it. I now have my own bottle. I'm very excited about that as well. If you like this channel, please hit like and subscribe, and check us out on Patreon and YouTube memberships. Check out our website, theeducatedbarfly.com, for merch, articles. You can buy us a bottle in our virtual bottle program if you want to be called out in a video, and help us out in the show in any way you can. That would be really awesome, and I will see you guys in another time.